Justin has been requesting me on Patreon to review the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and that continues with the third movie, At World's End. When I first saw this movie, I found it completely exhausting. However, whenever I revisit a film I don't like, I hope I better appreciate it on this go-round. Unfortunately, I still felt much the same way about At World's End, which I find to be a bloated and convoluted movie that wears out my patience. The movie runs almost 3 hours, and that runtime is completely felt, especially in the last hour. I do think the early scenes of the pirate crew trying to get Captain Jack Sparrow from Davy Jones' locker are okay, with the sequence in Singapore being a highlight. There's also a neat tribute to the original Disneyland ride, in a scene where they play audio taken directly from the attraction. Although the film starts off on a surprisingly dour note, with people, including a child, getting hanged by the East India Trading Company. It's a scene like something out of Les Miserables, and feels out of place in what's meant to be a fun pirate adventure. This is a Gore Verbinski movie, so there are many scenes that are great to look at, and you can definitely see the massive budget on the screen. The production values on these Pirates films are exceptional, with every department pulling out all the stops to wow the audience. That's thanks to artists like production designer Rick Heinrichs, costume designer Penny Rose, cinematographer Darius Wolski, lead makeup artist Vanille, creature concept designer Mark Crash McCreary, and visual effects supervisors John Knoll, Hal Hickel, Charles Gibson, and John Fraser. I feel like a lot of the behind-the-scenes talent don't get nearly enough credit for their work in putting together these huge blockbusters, and so I wanted to give them a shout-out, because what they accomplished on the Pirates of the Caribbean movies is impressive and deserving of recognition. Hans Zimmer also continued to write a rousing score for At World's End, including an excellent new love theme for Will and Elizabeth. So where does At World's End falter for me? Well, that largely has to do with the story and the pacing. I mentioned when reviewing Dead Man's Chest how unnecessarily complicated everything was. Well, that continues to be a major problem with the third film. It becomes difficult to keep track of where some of the characters are, as you have to remember which ship they're supposed to be on and which side they've moved to. With all the various subplots, everyone is fighting for screen time, including, surprisingly, Captain Jack Sparrow. It takes about 30 minutes for him to show up, which does make sense story-wise, but then he does not play that significant a role in the story, outside of a few important scenes here and there. James Norrington gets probably the worst of it. He shows up in a few scenes and then is dispatched with, although he reportedly had more scenes that were removed from the script or deleted from the finished movie. I don't think the main villain, Cutler Beckett, who is at war with the pirates, makes for a particularly interesting antagonist, as he mostly just stands around and acts pompous. There are so many scenes in At World's End of characters standing on their ships and talking, or when they're not on board their ships, they're in some other location standing around and talking. There's even a lengthy section spent with the pirate lords, where they discuss pirate law. I just don't find what they're saying all that riveting or exciting, and adds to the dragging pace of the movie. The big action climax also goes on for what feels like an eternity, as the characters battle each other, all while they're drenched with water. It tries to jump between the various participants, but it's also easy to lose track as they swing, duel, and hop all over the place, and shoot cannonballs and bullets at each other. At a certain point, I just lose complete interest in what's going on, and have no emotional investment in Will and Elizabeth's romance, Davy Jones' evil plot, and Jack Sparrow's hijinks. As I said at the beginning of the video, the whole experience of At World's End is exhausting and tiring. I do admire that Gore Verbinski went all out in bringing his wild vision for these Pirates movies to life, and it's remarkable that Disney let him. I just find the plot got lost along the way when turning this theme park ride into a trilogy of movies. The sequels try so hard to go big and massive that I find the characters get lost under the weight of it all. With that said, I recognize the first two Pirate sequels have gained admirers who do enjoy how complex the stories are and the leaps Verbinski and screenwriters Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio took with them. Are you one of those admirers? Let me know in the comments what you think of Pirates of the Caribbean At World's End, and thank you for the request, Justin.